Hello, and welcome to another Win Daily Sports Show. My name is Michael Brazil. I got my man Ghost here with me, and it is Ghost's Christmas Day. He gets two this week. Happy NBA opening night. Ghost, man, how excited are you?
I'm fired up. This is Christmas Day, 3 days early. So been looking forward to this for a very long time. Now that it's finally here, can't wait.
Can't wait. You get this Christmas. Tomorrow's what, a 10-13 game slate? Then you get actual Christmas, which is a pretty sweet slate as well. So it should be a fun one. We are here on the HNB Media TV page. We are here to help you with fantasy sports, with betting. We are Win Daily Sports, as I said already. We already see a bunch of people in the chat, so we will be getting to questions. We will be getting to our friends, to our fans, to our family in a little bit. Please make sure to hit that like button. It helps us out immensely to make sure more people check this out. Make sure to follow us at Win Daily. Make sure to follow him at DFS_Ghost. Make sure to follow me at Michael Brazil 1, and it's actually at Win Daily Sports. So let me make sure I have that correct. WinDailySports.com/chat if you want to join the conversation over at Win Daily Sports and our instant messenger chat where we talk about sports and help you win money. You get 7 free days to that bad boy. So make sure to come over and check that out. And one last thing, we have our most incredible deal. NBA season pass, $150. You get every single thing on the site to help you win a bunch of money this NBA season, but also for all the other sports combined. $150, entire NBA season, everything on the site. So, Ghostman, we got a fun game tonight. We got two games tonight. We got the Warriors and we got Brooklyn. So we have the KD, we have Kyrie going up against the Warriors. We know what they've done. We obviously have the battle for LA tonight. LeBron's going to get his ring in front of Kawhi, in front of Paul George, who everyone kind of anointed them the champions last year before we made it that far. So that's always fun to see as well. So just to get into the betting aspect a little bit, we have the Nets favored by, what is it, about 7, if I'm not mistaken, 7.5. We also have the Lakers favored by 2.5. Total for the Nets game is 235. So they think a little bit more scoring over there. Lakers is at 219. What are you looking for? Opening night, kind of weird, short layoff for some people, super long for others. Give me your understanding of just what you're looking for.
I'm expecting 2 close games here. Honestly, it was the shortest offseason that we've had in NBA history, but it's still a layoff nonetheless. And KD hasn't played basketball in it seems like two years now. So
feels like it.
You know what? I'm expecting the Warriors to cover that. That's one side that I'm on. That one would be my number 2 bet of the night. I guess it would be a 2A 2B kind of situation where I do like the over in the Nets and the Warriors game. But then my main bet right now is going to be Lakers minus 2.5 against the Clippers. They got their ring ceremony. LeBron and AD are going to show out. Nobody's going to be able to guard AD on that team. So give me the Lakers minus 2.5.
Nobody guarding AD. So make sure to hop over to DraftKings Sportsbook. Use promo code WINDAILY. You can get a couple extra fun bonuses, but you also can win some money with what Ghost just told you. But we are also here to break down the fantasy aspects of everything as well. So let me bring that up for you. We'll be looking at DraftKings, honestly, just because I like it a little bit more. We'll talk a little FanDuel, though. Don't worry, friends. Don't worry. So let's talk about this a little bit, Ghostman. What are you looking for on this slate in particular? When you're trying to build out a 2-game slate, we're looking at a bunch of studs. We have KD, we have Kyrie, we have Steph, we got LeBron, we got AD, we got Kawhi, we got Paul George. We have a million people that we can play. Obviously, can't play all of them.
Got the Caruso.
How are you
going to leave the Caruso out of that group?
Gosh,
come on.
How could I forget? I mean, let's throw Kyle Kuzma in there as well if we might as well, right? So he got paid too. Shout out Kyle Kuzma for getting paid. Talk to me a little bit about the way you're looking to build some of your lineups. I know you talked about how you're going to be building 150 on DraftKings and on FanDuel. Let's say most people don't go out and build 150. Let's say they go build 4 or 5 lineups just to get a little extra entertainment, a little extra value over here on NBA opening night. What are you looking for, and how are you looking to construct some of your lineups?
Your lineup has to be able to tell a story. If I could put it in some sort of, I don't know. It is a cheesy way to put it, but your lineup does have to tell a story in the sense that you have to say if ABC happens, then consequently XYZ will happen and result in these fantasy players' production going up and down respectively. So what I mean by that is that we were talking about the Miami Heat versus the Lakers, of course, the last time we were on here when we were doing showdown slates for the NBA Finals, of course, in the bubble from Orlando. And you know what we said, if you're playing Tyler Hero in a captain spot in showdown, or you have Tyler Hero in a bunch of lineups, whether it's 1, whether it's 3, whether it's 150 or anything in between, it's very rare that both him and Duncan Robinson are going to have 2 elite games, right? Those are 2 players that come in and off the court for one another, and both of them play a similar game. Tyler Hero has a much more rounded game in the sense that he could rebound and he could dish the rock a lot better than Duncan Robinson can. But just the sense that that's an example of what I'm saying, that if one guy is producing really well, it's likely going to have a negative impact on another.
So I just want to say, for all our HNB Media friends out there that watched us throughout the playoffs, surprise, Ghost brought up Tyler Hero. He's not even on this slate. So shout out to Ghost for sticking to his guns and doing what he does. We always love a good reason to talk about Tyler Hero, I guess. So talk to me, I guess, about these 2 games. How about that? We'll stick to these 2 for a little bit. Let's start with the first one. As you said, you kind of think both of them are going to be tight. Vegas doesn't think the Brooklyn Warriors game is going to be as tight. You obviously think a little bit more. You and I spoke last night on the podcast, so make sure, if you don't already, go check out the Win Daily Sports podcast. You can find that wherever podcasts are. Always free, always fun, always entertaining. Talk to me a little bit about that first one. Steph Curry and nuclear, if I'm not mistaken, came out of your mouth last time. So say it again if you don't mind for the people.
So Steph goes nuclear on the slate. Warriors cover. That's we had our Win Daily Sports expert roundtable from myself, Brian, and Adam. The NBA team would still be in there as well, and Mitchell and all the other guys popping in and out of Discord all day. So shout out to the boys for all the support throughout the entire process and everything that we've been doing leading up to this day. Whole team's well prepared, and in that roundtable article, we each gave a hot take towards the end. Kind of made it a little bit of fun, and wanted to spice things up for the opening day here of the 2020-2021 NBA season. And mine was that Steph Curry and Anthony Davis combined for 120 plus fantasy points tonight. And then on the pod last night, I ended up saying that Steph goes nuclear and the Warriors cover. People forget just how good Stephen Curry is. We talked about in our MVP betting show as well, at plus 850. Who knows? Maybe the line might actually move after this game tonight.
Good. It should. After he drops 35, I think we already took the over on Steph's threes. I think it's at 4.5. Our good friend Adam at Buckin for Life said. Stoby brings it up. Kendrick Perkins already talking sauce about Steph, making him want to go off. You already talked about that as well. So let's flip to the other side. So I want to shout out our good friend Big Theo, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Do I have it? Yes. Wants to play KD so bad, but doesn't know how he's going to play today. Put Big T to rest. Not to rest. Well, sorry, not trying to kill you, Theo. Not trying to kill you. But put his mind at ease. There we go. That's a little bit better. Talk to me a little bit. How do you think KD's going to come out? How do you think? I mean, our friends over on the HNB Media page, we know how they think about it. How do you think about it, Ghostman?
KD's going to be just fine. I mean, we said it throughout the preseason. I mean, both of us said it. Pavi said it. TPJ said it. Ash said it as well. KD's back, man. Like he looked so good in preseason. I understand it's preseason ball, but you got to understand that this guy was out there for with a smile on his face for first time since I've been watching him in his career that I've ever seen him smile on a basketball court. So that's one thing already. You know that he's already mentally there. He's physically there. That he's ready to come in and really set the tone in this season. So he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder. Although you know what you can argue that he's right up there with LeBron and Anthony Davis and Giannis and Luka Doncic. And we're talking about these guys that, you know, they're the elite of the NBA, and a lot of these guys are unguardable. KD is easily in that conversation as well. So with that being said, Draymond being out of this game even solidifies that even more. So having guys like Pascal on him, or Marquise Chris, or Kevon Looney's going to come off the bench, and James Wiseman is, I don't know. I don't know how you can possibly get a tougher matchup. NBA debut. Guy hasn't played basketball in over a year and a half. And now he's coming in and facing KD. I mean, KD hasn't played basketball in a year and a half either, but it's Kevin Durant. He's been there, done that. So talk about a tough matchup for him. It's going to be fun watching them go toe-to-toe in the post.
I am so excited. I think it is absolutely going to be a blast. So just shouting out the chat a little bit. Sean, can't wait to hear the secret weapon. Ghost is dropping some secret weapons. Sean woke up early for this. Jesus, Sean, where do you live in the world? I love it. This is a great question. Do you think with Kyrie on the floor, KD will lose usage? Speaking about that Nets team a little bit more.
Yes, I love that you brought that up. So a lot of people have been talking about KD facing the Warriors, all this rivalry, this and that. I don't think this is a KD game. This is a Kyrie Irving game. This is Kyrie Irving versus Steph, prime time, national television, whole nation's watching. Kyrie versus Steph. We saw what they were doing toe to toe. And of course, the Warriors, Cavs, little dynasty run that we had there for 4 to 5 years where they were just seemingly cruising through the regular season and then facing off one another in the finals every single year, back to back to back to back to back to back. I mean, it's Kyrie versus Steph. You have two of, if not the two best ball handlers in the entire league going up one another. And then this is the kind of matchup similarly to what Steph does when he plays Damian Lillard. When one starts to go off, the other one takes it personal and he starts to go off. Neither guy really plays defense. This is a point guard matchup all day long. So I am edging Kyrie over KD in this matchup.
I love it. I love it. Also, RIP to Theo. Sorry, dude. Didn't mean to kill you, but appreciate that you're here hanging out with us. Sean does give us an answer. He is in Oklahoma, works overnight. So that makes sense.
Love the dedication.
Really appreciate it, brother. Appreciate the hell out of you for hanging out with us. Another question on the Nets side. How will Jarrett Allen play after the addition of KD and the assumption, right, that DeAndre Jordan is going to be playing a little bit of center there? How do you feel about him moving forward? Maybe not for this slate, but just in general.
So right now, our proprietary projections model over at windailysports.com. Make sure if you guys haven't checked that out, please go and do so. Still have just over an hour before lock, of course, for you guys to go and check that out. Right now, we have DeAndre Jordan slotted into play in between 23 and 24 minutes, roughly 23 and a half there. But whenever I end up mentioning the half minutes or the 0.6 minutes, I mean, every second counts for our model, but we always get a good chuckle out of everybody. So between 23 and 24 minutes there for DeAndre Jordan. You got to wait and see. That this is the NBA game for those that you're either new to it or people tend to forget, with NFL season that's been rocking and rolling, and people got into PGA DFS and a bunch of other sports, esports as well. So for those of you that may have forgotten what NBA is all about, you could set a lineup as early as you want. Things change completely when we hit that 60-minute mark before lock. So if we get an announcement that Jarrett Allen is starting over DeAndre Jordan, it's something that would change my lineups a little bit. But I am anticipating DeAndre Jordan here. Steve Nash has been talking him up pretty well. Hasn't committed to him long term, but I think he'll get the early run out of the get-go here. They have been talking about KD possibly playing some 5 and them kind of forming their own little mini
lineup.
Like death lineup. I guess you could say with Karis LeVert and Joe Harris there. So I guess, but I'm really curious to see what this Nets rotation looks like. But I do think that DeAndre Jordan will be able to get the get-go. If anybody has an update in chat, please do provide so. But if I had to assume right now, Steve Nash is going to give DeAndre Jordan the first crack.
I do like that. I also just wanted to shout out Theo one more time. Not dead yet, Theo. Not dead yet. And he loved that roundtable article. You can go to windailysports.com. All the articles for NBA are free for this first week. We want to give you guys all the opportunity to win a lot of money. We promise you that. All right, so we're starting to get some more questions. It says DeAndre Jordan is starting.
There we go. Boom.
Appreciate you. Everybody go check out Rustling Paving and Concrete in case you need some paving and concrete needs, I guess. There we go. You got a YouTube page for everything. We love it. So I do like that. So that's obviously going to change it. We're going to be here with you up till about 6:15 because not only do we want to help you win, we also want to win ourselves. And Ghost has a lot of work to do in about 45-ish minutes up to lock. So let's talk about this game a little bit. I just locked Steph in. You think he's going nuclear. That's easy. That's fine. So you also talked a lot about Kyrie a little bit. So let's hop just to this game and let's just see. Well, Kyrie is sitting at a cool 8,500. KD is sitting at a cool 9,800. So a little more expensive. You think this is going to be a Kyrie game over a KD game, correct?
Yes, that is correct. And it really solidifies the stud. As much as I'm on Kyrie and Steph, which is a lot. We've been talking about this for 3-4 days in a row now. They're actually neither one of them are going to be my stud to lock. So the fact that KD's up there at 9,800 kind of gives away which stud I'm going to lock in. A certain Lakers player, I'll at least put that. I'll at least leave it up to between two of them. Keep you guys here for another 15 minutes. But given the fact that I want the late night hammer there in the Lakers Clippers game, KD at 9,800 on DraftKings is a pretty penny to pay. On FanDuel, if we're talking about FanDuel as well, 8,500 for KD is a joke. I mean, you could make lineups with simply interchanging Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant and leave $1,500, $1,700 on a salary on the table there. That's definitely not out of the question on FanDuel today, especially in these large field tournaments. I think there are a million entrants in the Millie Maker. That's $3 on FanDuel. So you want to talk about beating a million people in the same contest? You got to be able to leave some money out there. So making a lineup, swapping Anthony Davis for KD, leaving that $2,000 ish salary out there, definitely worth it.
Definitely worth it. So let's talk a little bit about where can we find some value? Where can we find some lower priced players in this, specifically this Warriors Brooklyn game, that can help kind of ease our lineups a little bit more?
So again, gotta drop the model in there. This is something that we've been working hard on for who knows how long now. Days and nights, overnights, days and nights, overnights. So DeAndre Jordan has been somebody that's been popping before anybody else had it out there. And now that he's starting, I'm sure everyone's out there trying to adjust their projections, anything like that. Ours do so automatically. I'm sure it's not going to move all that much because we've had him up there for the longest of time. Both him and Pascal rank as the top value plays from both of our experts and our proprietary projection model as well. So those are two guys that I'm going to be looking at. Whether DeAndre Jordan gets into my main lineup or not on DraftKings, 5,600 is still a little bit steep considering I want to jam in 3 studs. And the other guy that I do want to play may or may not be center eligible. So he's somebody that you could look at in the mid-range, but Pascal has to be the stone cold lock of the slate. Slotting in for Draymond, he's projected to play just over 33 minutes right now. Yes, it's a tough matchup against KD, but we're talking about a guy that's below $4,000. He could be 90% owned. I would still have 100% exposure to him on DraftKings, and you guys know what that means for me to be able to lock somebody in at 100%. I never do so. On this slate, you got to plant your flag, and not just somewhere, in multiple places. Pascal being locked into all 150, and certainly in my main lineup, obviously, of my lineups is something that I am doing. He's just too cheap for somebody that's going to play 33 minutes. Whether he gets torched by KD or not, there's nobody out there in that range that's going to play 33 minutes tonight.
It's going to be difficult to get there. So a couple more questions. Actually, just want to shout out again, Wrestling Paving and Concrete for all your paving and concrete needs. Irving, Dimwitty, Jordan.
Free promos.
Dude, free promos everywhere. You hang out in the chat, dude. I'll give you whatever you want. Just keep asking some questions. Irving, Dimwitty, Jordan, Harris, and Durant look like the starting 5. Appreciate you, Mr. Paving and Concrete. How do you feel about James Wiseman? This dude didn't play pretty much college basketball. Let's be honest. I'm a big fan of college basketball. Yeah. He didn't do anything there. Didn't play preseason. He did enough in camp to end up crack the starting rotation. Are you going to put any bullets in the chamber? I mean, 150 MME is one thing. You're probably going to have a couple shares of him, but how do you feel about, some of the more just casual players, maybe throwing in James Wiseman into a lineup or two, knowing that he's in that potent Warriors offense now?
Zero.
Okay.
Keeping it simple. Zero.
Love it.
He's a guy that I'm going to have very little exposure to right now. He's somebody that when, we're talking about the amount of lineups that we have to go build out after we get off the show, he's somebody that I have to decide whether I even want him in my player pool or not. The max amount when I'm talking about playing James Wiseman, I might get to 5%. But if I'm building 3 maxes or single entries for all you different kind of players out there, everyone plays different contests, 0 James Wiseman for me.
0 James Wiseman. Do you think Marquise Chris cracks the rotation?
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Because of James Wiseman's health. Second overall pick, they're not going to run this guy into the ground. Like you have to understand that, yes, they are win now. They still have Steph. They still have Clay. They still have all these guys. And the Warriors will be in win now mode up until Stephen Curry's retirement. But he's still a second overall pick. He's still one of the best prospects, if not the best prospect from the last draft class. So they're not going to just run this guy into the ground and potentially ruin his career this early on.
Yes. More from Wrestling Paving and Concrete for all your paving and concrete needs. Wiseman also playing short spurts according to the news. We also got that from Stobie as well. I think Stobie, this is per Coach Kerr, but also Ian Rappaport. James Wiseman, COVID-19, will play in short spurts. We have a question about best value under 4,300 on DraftKings. So we already talked about Pascal over here in this game. We're going to be hopping over to the other game in a second. All right, cool. Yeah, anything else from this game that you want to touch upon before we hop over to the Battle LA?
Yeah, there's one thing I wanted to mention, and he's one of the secret weapons that we ended up. We dropped one on the pod yesterday. One's going to be undropped, so that one's going to be in the second game. But for this game, it is Joe Harris. So what a lot of people end up saying, KD and Kyrie are going to soak up a lot of the usage, and rightfully so. These guys are probably going to combine for 50+% of the usage on the offensive end. If we dive into further analytics, Kyrie and KD are 2 of the most highly used players in the post game. Kyrie plays the post so much for somebody that plays point. And he's not the biggest guy, but he's out there in the post all the time. You see Kyrie knocking down fadeaways and stuff like that. So when you end up having no perimeter shooters, that's where the post game ends up struggling. But now when Kyrie goes into the post or KD goes into the post, you have the other guy that's going to be stuck outside.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves a wide open Joe Harris, one of the best 3-point shooters from last season. Quietly was absolutely lethal from behind the arc last season. So I don't know if you're talking about getting different on a 2-game slate, which you absolutely have to, because there's no such thing as a high owned, low owned player on the slate. Everyone's high owned. There's only 2 games. There's only so many players to choose from. Joe Harris is that guy that might be able to get you there, and I will have shares of him in my 150. That's 100% sure. Whether he makes my main lineup or not, he's somebody that I'm deciding between guys like him, DeAndre Jordan, and whatnot. But look for KD, look for Kyrie to play in that post, and if the other guy's being covered, they won't hesitate to knock it out to Joe Harris, and he'll be able to bang those threes home.
I love it. And just to answer you answered this question while you were talking, from our good friend Joel Schreck at Draftmaster Flex, good writer, PGA writer over here for Win Daily Sports. Who are your favorite low ownership plays? As Ghostman said, 2 games. I guess who would you say? Where could you find leverage? Let's ask the question that way. How do you feel about it like that, Ghost?
Secret weapon in the second game. It's coming.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, let's give the people what they want. Let me clear the slate over here. We'll hop back over to the Battle of LA, which should be a very, very fun game. I'm excited for it. I'm going to be asleep, but I'm still excited for it. All right. Let's look at everybody here. So there was 2 studs that you were talking about before, and one of them's not LeBron. Talk to me. Why do you love Anthony Davis so much today?
Who's going to guard him? Who's guarding this guy? Asking for a friend. Who's guarding Anthony Davis out there tonight?
Not Kawhi, I guess. Maybe for a little bit. Can Kawhi guard Anthony Davis?
Like I'm honestly like, okay. So this is what I was thinking about. I was literally last night, again, overnight, haven't slept in who knows how many hours there. We were working on the tools, getting everything ready for you guys. And I'm looking and I'm waiting for this Clippers starting lineup. They announced Serge Ibaka starting. You don't start Serge Ibaka for offense. So he's going to be out there on AD. Do you know what happened the last time AD matched up against Serge Ibaka for a full 30 plus minutes? Like matched up one-on-one. Not talking about like saw him in spurts. Like he matched up one-on-one for 30 minutes.
Tell me.
AD dropped 25 points and 20 rebounds.
In those 30 minutes?
In 29 minutes.
Okay, cool. Because I took the over on his PRA. I took the over on his points separately and the over on his rebounds.
How much was the PRA?
PRA was 39.5.
He's hitting that over just on points. You don't even need the RA.
Fantastic. Because I have over 26.5 points, over 10.5 rebounds, parlayed that shit. Gonna turn it into $25. Let's go.
Beautiful. So this is the way I see this playing out. So you have Serge Ibaka starting at the 5, and then you also have Nick Batum starting. This guy is dreadful on offense. Let's just get that out of the way. We'll put that right to the side. You don't start Nick Batum for offense. You're also starting Patrick Beverley. So this to me shows that the Clippers are gonna let PG and Kawhi do the thing on offense. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to let them get gassed on the defensive end, at least not with this starting lineup when you're starting Serge Ibaka, Nick Batum, and Patrick Beverley. Because if you're expecting those 3 guys to carry the load on offense, or at least contribute on offense, you're going to be down by 20 in 12 minutes. You will get absolutely blown off the court, which is technically your home court too, in the first quarter. Like it won't even be close. So that to me shows that they're going to take a chance with Pat Bev on LeBron, or at least give him rotations where he's on him, possibly switch over to Batum. And then they're going to let Ibaka and Batum again. It's going to be a rotation between those 3 guys to be able to guard AD and LeBron. I don't think that's going to last, which is what leads me to the next part of this, the segment that we want to talk about this game. Lou Will's going to have a crucial role coming off this bench. When the Clips get down, whether it's early or at least mid-game, they're going to need some offense. So they're going to realizing, hey, starting Patrick Beverley, Nick Batum, and Serge Ibaka on the floor at the same time is not getting us any offense. It's not going to win us a basketball game. So that's when you're going to end up seeing Pat Bev come out. You're going to see Lou Will coming in. Then you're going to see the secret weapon come in. And then that's where they're going to have a chance to not only possibly come back into this game, but we're going to have some chance to win some tournaments.
I love it. So talk to me before we get to that secret weapon. You talked about Kawhi. You talked about Paul George a little bit. Bringing it back to the DFS side of things, we have Kawhi Leonard sitting at 91. We have Paul George sitting at 7,800. Is Paul George worth a bullet in the chamber every once in a while?
Not in your single entry or 3 maxes. Kawhi is though. Absolutely. Kawhi is going to be that one stud. Seems like every time the Clippers are on these 2-game slates where people are debating LeBron, Anthony James, Giannis, Luka Doncic, Harden, Westbrook, when he was in Houston, you're deciding between 2 from the same team. You're deciding between Literally, and CJ McCollum and all these amazing duos. Nobody, like, somehow, some way, you want to talk about the lower end. Again, he's not going to be low owned because it's a 2-game slate, but the lower owned end of the stud group, it's Kawhi all the way.
I love it. It should be fun. So let's get to the questions here for a second. We were talking about this before. Joe Harris for single entry, or is he a little bit more like 3 max, 20 max?
On DraftKings, it's doable. I do prefer him for 3 max. I won't even go as high as 20 max. I think you should get some Joe Harris exposure there in your 3 maxes as well. But for single entry, you have to decide between tournaments are going to be one today between that 4.5 to 5.5K range. So really depends again, and your lineup has to make sense. If you're playing KD and Kyrie, you can't be playing Joe Harris in that lineup because they at one point the production will stop from all 3 of them.
I love it. All right, so we have a lineup here from Brian. We know him. He's in our Discord chat. Ask Brian about the Discord chat, everybody. He loves it. Brooklyn Golden State Onslaught lineup: Kyrie, Kennard, Oubre, Pascal, Chris, Curry, KD, and the Morris brother from the Lakers.
Markieff is likely not going to play today, so that's somebody that I would get out of your lineup. Outside of that, it's strong. The only thing I'm worried about, again, when you end up having a lineup like this, you're going to be sitting pretty after that first game, but then everyone's coming with the AD, LeBron, Kawhi hammers, and you got to be careful. So for me, it's like, I understand 2-game slates, you have to plant your flag somewhere. These studs are still going to get theirs in the second game. The odds of Kawhi, AD, and LeBron all flopping in the same game, like it's very rare. I would make sure to swap out one of your studs for one of the 3 from the second game.
Already getting some love too. Ghost bringing out the shooter, staying strapped. You gotta love it. So before we get to that secret weapon, thoughts on Schroeder? I think he's got a Q tag right now. Do we know if he's going to play or not? We should.
Yeah, he's good to go. Yep. Yeah, he's good to go. Surprisingly, the Lakers gave us news that, the Lakers are truly iconic for this from a DFS perspective. Yep. Their game starts at 10 p.m. Eastern time. They'll drop news at 10:15.
Yep.
Like it's honestly iconic the way these guys drop their news, and somehow, some way, the DFS gods gifted us with some Laker news early on, where we know for a fact Dennis Schroeder is playing. I like him either way, whether he's coming off the bench or starting. Obviously, starting it's going to be tough for him to get there with LeBron running point, and he's going to have to play a bit more off ball. He's very similar to Jordan Clarkson. You want him running with the ball. You don't want him playing off ball. He's not the best spot up shooter, but he does have that ability to be able to create some offense. So I'm looking for him and LeBron to kind of offset. I don't think they're going to run too much time, if any time at all, with both of them off the court.
That is fantastic. Any thoughts on Kent Bazemore, now new to the Warriors, right?
Yeah. That's somebody that you would get exposure to if you're running 20 plus lineups. In your single entry or your 3 maxes, you're playing an angle there. It's dangerous because if you're playing Steph and you're locking him in with your core of either Kyrie or KD and then running it back with one stud from the second game, it's tough for Kent Bazemore to get there, knowing that you want Steph to go nuclear, meaning you want that game to stay close. So when we're talking about your lineup making sense and really telling a story, for Steph to be able to be one of, if not the high scorers on the slate, you need him to go absolutely bonkers. Keep that game close. You don't want Kent Bazemore on the floor. That means the game's going to be a blowout. So you got to be careful with stuff like that. But at his price, he won't be able to hurt you.
All right. Just a comment, it looks like: wrestling, paving, and concrete for all your paving and concrete needs. Talon Horton Tucker. I don't know if that's a question, just a comment. His card is very expensive now, in case we have an article up now on Win Daily Sports for free. We're starting to break into the trading card game. How do you feel about, can we call him THT now? Because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we call him THT. I like that. I like that. Preseason MVP, probably won't see the floor tonight. He's that's going to be a no from me.
Couple more minutes here, guys. I promise Gus has a lot of work to do. One more question, guys. Do you like any game stacks on a 2-gamer? It's all game stacks.
Yeah, it's your lineup has to make, like, I can't stress this enough. I know it sounds really simple, but it like your lineup has to tell a story. It has to make sense. You can't be playing Steph, Kyrie, KD, and then play a full game stack from that game. Like if you're playing all 3 of the, if those 3 studs are going to be the core of your lineup, you almost want very little exposure to the other sides of that game, because you want those 3 guys to go absolutely nuts. You want them to outscore Anthony Davis. You want them to outscore Kawhi. You want them to outscore LeBron. You want them to outscore Paul George. I'll be nice on opening day and throw him in that conversation, even though he has no business being there. But like those are things where your lineup has to make sense. If you're 3 studs on DraftKings or FanDuel, you can actually fit 4. But anyways, if your 3 studs are going to be all from that first game and you're stacking it, are all from that second game, the remaining pieces of your lineup, or at least the majority of them, have to be from the opposite game, because you want your 3 studs to outscore the other 3 studs and really dominate the usage in their respective game.
Very important. Tell that story. Wrestling. I need to know how to say this because I might just be butchering it every time.
For all of your paving
for all of your paving and concrete needs. Need a center on FanDuel single entry: Jordan, Allen, or Zubac?
DeAndre Jordan. I'm planting my flag with the model. I ride or die by it.
You made the damn thing. I hope you ride or die by it. Let's go. All right, so let's get back to this game. Sorry, chat. We'll get back to you in a second. Maybe a couple more questions, but I can't promise anything. Talk to me. Where can we find a little value in the second game, and then drop that knowledge with your secret weapon?
So the value is the secret weapon, and that's going to be Luke Kennard.
That's fun. Luke
Kennard, Duke Blue Devils. I know you're a big Duke guy too. So
let's go, dude.
This Clippers offense is going to be completely different. So with Serge starting, I think Zubac is going to have a nice role on the offensive end, more so than he did last season. Because last season they were demanding Zubac too much on the defensive end, because then Trez would come in, and Trez can't play defense for the life of him. So he was all offense. They're running pick and rolls all day long with him and Lou Will. Trez is gone. Trez is across the hall now. So you have Serge starting, you have Zubac coming off the bench. One of them has to pick up that load on offense, because it can't be all Kawhi and PG for 40 plus minutes. It's not going to work. So this could go 2 ways. Lou Will can run the pick and roll similarly what he did with Trez, and Zubac could be diving to the basket and end up having, I don't want to go nuts. I'll say like a 10-10 game, 12-8 game, something that'll get you there. Or you go the way I think it's going to run, and there's going to be a lot of pick and pop. You're going to see Zubac running a bunch of screens, and you're going to see Luke Kennard bombs away. So this is a guy, spot-up shooter. He could drive the basket at only $3,600 on DraftKings. This is a guy that can potentially break the slate.
He doesn't even need his dad to buy him a Porsche anymore. He can buy his own Porsche. Look at him, $54 million guaranteed. As our good friend Thomas just said, drop a like, everybody. Smash that like button, as all those YouTubers like to say. Get me and Ghost famous, guys. That is what we're here to do. We're here to help you win a lot of money and hopefully get a little famous along the way. So Luke Kennard is the secret weapon. On one side, we have Eric Pascal. On the other side, super savings. Thinks they can break the slate. What time does the Nets game start? It starts at 7. We have about an hour-ish to go. And I'm saying it perfect. Rusling Paving and Concrete for all your paving and concrete needs. Shout out watching from the Philippines. I love it. Somebody is asking about Wes Matthews. He's toit tonight, guys. How do you feel about Wes Matthews getting us?
That's going to be a hard pass for me. But like if I'm going with a streaky LA shooter from either team, not only is it going to be Luke Kennard, but if we're sticking to the Lakers side of things and not make a cheesy dad joke on opening day if we're going with Lakers value, I'm taking KCP over Wes Matthews. I'd rather a guy that actually has the ability to knock down a shot than Wes Matthews.
I love it. Awesome. Well, that is it for us. Ghost has a lot of work to do and only about 40 minutes to do it. And Ghost, where can everyone find you online?
At DFS_Ghost over on Twitter, and of course with the WinDailySports.com. Finally, make sure you guys come and join our Discord chat.
Oh, we also have a lot of people from the Philippines. What's up?
I love it.
Yes, WinDailySports.com/chat. You get 7 free days in our expert Discord chat. If you think this was fun, why don't hang out with us at 3 o'clock in the morning and do this? 3 o'clock in the morning our time. It's a lot of fun. So you get 7 free days in our expert Discord chat. Ask anybody in here. A lot of our friends, a lot of our family members are already here. So come hang out with all of us. 7 free days in our instant messenger chat where we talk about sports and help you guys win money. We have the best deal available in the industry, $150 for the entire NBA season. All of our tools, all of our models, all of the ghosts that you could possibly ask for. And then we give you the rest of the sports for free on top of it. $150 for 7 months. You win a lot of money with us. Doesn't get much better than that. Right now, all of our NBA articles are free at WinDailySports.com. So just go check them out. We're here to help you guys win a lot of money. You're going to be seeing a lot of our faces over the next few months, and we are very, very excited for it. You can find me at Michael Raziel1. You can find us at Win Daily Sports. One more time for the people in the back, WinDailySports.com/chat. For Ghost, for myself, for all of our friends at HNB Media TV, for the entire chat, and for everybody at Win Daily Sports. We hope you make it a very profitable opening night in the NBA.